Bad women are always single. They're just never in any relationship for that long, right? They can never hang on to a man. So they are forever, constantly single. And I tell you guys to watch out for this because when you meet these girls, especially when they're over 30, and especially if they are hot, you have to ask yourself, like, hey, why is this chick still single? Over 30. Why is she still unmarried? How come no guys put a ring on her finger? There's a reason for that, okay? There's a reason for that. And the reason is, it's because the rule of thumb is bad women are always single. They can never hang on to a man. They're constantly in and out of relationships. They are constantly exercising their open hypergamy, right? Which is a lot of the reason for why these girls are single. Okay, because they don't cash in their chips in their 20s. These are the same type of women that kicked all the nice guys in the balls in their 20s. Okay, all those guys who were at their feet, you know, a lot of these guys were high value too. Like a lot of these guys, believe it or not, especially when it comes to a hot girl, they are willing to throw down and take care of them, pay for them, you know, shower them with attention, gifts, free rent, free cars. I've seen it. It's pathetic, but I've seen it. And so many of these girls, they're like, I don't need it. They pass it up, right? They want to keep rolling the dice. They're like, I'm still young. I'm still hot. I'm in my 20s. I'm going to keep rolling for sevens, baby. Woo! Right? Then next thing you know, turn 31 day, snake eyes. Where are the sevens? No more sevens. I can't roll a freaking seven. I can't roll a seven for the life of me. And then they go into their 30s and their 40s, still trying to roll that seven, still trying to get those high value guys, and they can't figure out why they can't get them anymore. It's because you've now been replaced with the younger generation of hot women, right? If you're ever like curious, like why you see, you know, some hot girls that are out there still unmarried and still single, and they're now in their 30s, even their 40s, some even in their 50s. And it's like, why is this chick still single, right? It doesn't take that much work to find out. I mean, you could have a simple conversation with her. And even within that conversation, you'll see little cracks, little holes in her reasoning for why she's still single, right? And the more you talk to her, she might start espousing like feminist beliefs, how women are unfairly treated in the workplace, and how we need to destroy the patriarchy. She'll start talking like that. And then you'll quickly start to realize, like, that's why this chick is still single, right? And then the more she talks, the more she mouths off. And then anytime you try to interject and tell her why she's wrong, she'll just like sit back like, are you serious, mister? Do you know what year it is? This isn't 1950. It's 2019 or 2020, 2021, whenever you're watching this, right? It's the current year. So she'll say things like that, right? And then you'll know instantly, all right, I can see why this chick is still single. Because, you know what? High value men, they don't want to hear that yap, yap, yap. They don't want to deal with that, right? So chances are she had plenty of opportunity in her 20s to get that high value guy, even with her loud mouth, right? Some of these guys, they're that foolish. They will put up with that loud mouth. But she pissed it away. I'm not saying all women, okay? I'm just saying most women, because of course I'm going to get those few rare unicorns out there, those special snowflake of women who are going to be like, hey, that's not me, mister. I'm not like that. It's like, okay, fine. You're not like that, but just because you're not like that, it does not disqualify the overwhelming majority of women out there who are over 30, who are still out there at the bars and clubs, still partying like they're 18, still going to Vegas, right? Like it's their 21st birthday celebration. And I've seen single moms do this, like in their 30s, 40s, even into their 50s, like heading off to Vegas with their girlfriends, and some of their girlfriends are even married. And it's like, what are you pack of chicks doing going off to Vegas where you know what you're gonna do, all right? I'm a pickup artist, I'm not stupid, girls. I go to Vegas all the time. I know what you girls do, okay? You ain't fooling me. You might be able to fool that chump you got sitting at home, right? You might be able to fool him because he's blue pill, but you ain't fooling me. And you aren't fooling any of my students or any of my subscribers, because we know why you're flying off to Vegas. But it's insane when you guys see these girls out in Vegas partying, or out at the venues, out at the bars, out at the clubs on the weekends, where it's primarily younger women. The demographic that you will come across in most of these venues are gonna be very young women and typically older men. Okay, so when I say younger women, I'm talking about women under 25. And there are a lot of women who are under 21 who sneak into these venues. You know, I don't know how they pass off these fake IDs. Okay, I was able to do it in my day when I had this like paper ID. You guys who are like from Generation X, we had those like paper driver's license, and I used to like make myself 18 or 21, whatever I needed to get into the venues back then, right? So I could go like work on my game. But nowadays we have these credit card looking magnetic chip driver's license and IDs. I'm like, how do these chicks fake this? It's insane. I don't even know. I have to ask one of these girls one day. But when you look at the demographic of the age groups that are out in these venues, it's primarily younger women under 25 and older men in their 30s, 40s, and yes, even their 50s. And then you'll have a speckle of guys, believe it or not, in their 60s. Okay? You will see that out here in Hollywood. It's, you know, it's very common. Even in San Francisco, where I'm from, you'll see the same type of demographic of age groups, right? You won't really see too many 60-year-old guys out there unless you're out partying out in the marina, which is primarily where I go a lot of times when I'm gaming in the city. But that is the demographic of these venues. Yet, you'll see from time to time these 30 and 40 and even 50-year-old women kind of just bum rush the entire venue with their 50-year-old girlfriends or 40-year-old girlfriends or 35-year-old girlfriends and be like, hey, and just try to take over the place, acting like they're 18. Right? Acting like they're 18. A lot of these chicks have kids at home. Okay, so it's not even like they're completely single. They have kids at home. Yet here they are out at the venues partying like it's 1999, right? Which is probably when they graduated, if not 69 or 79. And even the younger women there, I mean, they hate on him. They're like, man, what are my moms doing here? What are my aunties doing here? What are my grandmas doing here? Right? They'll commonly say things like that. At the end of the day, bad women are never taken and they're always single. Okay? They're never taken and they're always single. Take it from me, right? I'm a professional dating coach. I'm constantly out there doing cold approach, gaming, picking up in these venues, and even outside of the venues, okay? I do a lot of day game where I'm just picking up girls on the street, or while I'm running my errands at the Starbucks, at the Target, right? One of my favorite is the one in Burbank. Right? So many hotties and like so many model looking women go in there like randomly. It's insane. However, one thing I found throughout the many years I've been doing this is the bad women I meet in field are always single. And even if they're in a relationship with a guy, it's very temporary, okay? There's no such thing as an LTR with these girls. Even if they're in a relationship with you for, a number of years, that girl is like physically with you, but she's mentally not there. She's mentally out at the club. She's mentally exploring her options whenever she gets the chance, okay? Whenever you're not in her presence, she's out there fielding candidates, trying to replace you, trying to look for a higher value male. Where at least with good women, okay, because I've often said this, good women, they're always taken, right? They're always taken. And B, they're always looking for an LTR. They're always looking to cash in their chips. It's almost like instinctively, God has given them the foresight to see that, hey, you're not going to have your youth and fertility forever. So I want to make sure you find the right man before you lose that. Okay, so these women instinctively, by nature, by way of God, know that they need to cash in their chips. They need to cash it in, okay, before they turn 30. And the real smart ones cash it in before they turn 25, right? They just cash in their chips. Whereas the bad women, they're like that addicted gambler who just can't leave the casino, right? He just can't leave. He's already ahead. He's already winning. Most people just take their winnings and leave, right? And then go throw a big party when they get home. But no. Bad women are like the addicted gambler. She has to stay at the craps tables. She has to keep rolling for those sevens. And she's like, I'm just going to stay here. And then next thing you know, one day she wakes up, she's 30 years old. And as I've told you guys, the day a woman turns 30, she has this sudden awakening, this epiphany that she should settle down. And she should start looking for that beta male. Right? She should start looking for that beta provisioner who will take care of her, who won't run off like the jerks will, who will stay with her. And even when that girl finds that guy, right? Even when she's lucky enough to find that guy, which, funny enough, a lot of these girls do, right? Because they're still attractive. There are tons of betas out there willing to line up and, open up their wallets and be like, I'll take care of you. You're my new princess. And she's like, okay, you're the one. And then very quickly, once she enters a relationship with one of these betas, after she's so used to dating all of these alphas, once she's with the beta and she finally gets that secure provisioner, she realizes how bored she is. She's bored out of her mind. She's like, this guy is just not fun. He doesn't challenge me. He's not exciting. He doesn't call me out. He doesn't put me in my place. So what does she do? Like the bad woman she is, she just goes right back out there, because it's part of her nature. That's who she is. You cannot change her. As I've told you guys over and over, once a party girl, always a party girl. You guys who try to marry these former club sluts, these former nightclub celebrities, right? Who are just constantly getting into the venues and, for free, bypassing that long Star Wars line, right? You ever go to a club, it's like insane how long some of these lines are. It's funny, even in politically correct California, if you go to some of these hotter venues in Hollywood, right? I've seen a pack of girls try to get in the club, right? And then they have that one not so attractive overweight friend, and the bartender's letting in all the other girls, and then he's like, oh yeah, sorry ma'am, sorry, you can't come in. And she's like, but my girlfriends. And surprisingly, a lot of these girls, are loyal to their girls. They will come back out, okay, fine, we'll just go somewhere else. We'll just go to a bar or something. And then they leave. It's funny when you see stuff like that. Especially when Hollywood's supposed to be so progressive and politically correct. I guess it doesn't apply at the clubs, huh? Understand, guys, bad women that you meet out there, especially when they're over 30, that are still single, they are single for a reason, okay? Because bad women are never taken, okay? Again, even when they're in relationships with guys, even if they try to change their ways and they get into an LTR with a guy and they try to make it work, they can't just sit still in that relationship. They're constantly getting bored, and they constantly have to, at every opportunity, just exercise their open hypergamy. Whenever a cute guy comes along that they see on the street or that actually approaches them, they're going to be open to it, right? They're going to actually let this guy work some game on her. Whereas a good woman will just be like, hey, you're cute, but I'm sorry, no, I can't. Right? And I've had women do that to me, and they were good women, and I could see it in their eyes. And I could see in their eyes that they were attracted to me, and in any other circumstance, they would want to do it, right? I could see it. I was like, because Because it's like, oh, it's right there. And it's like, oh, you know, we both feel this attraction, but the girl is dedicated to her man and she made a commitment to him, right? And she's generally pretty polite too. She's like, hey, you're a really handsome guy. I'm sure you're gonna have no problem out there, you know, finding a great looking woman for yourself. She's like, I'm sorry, but I'm taken. And, you know, we've been together a while and we're getting engaged and, you know, I just can't do that to him. You know, I respect that. But bad women, even when they're in relationships, they're like, all right, what do you got to say for yourself? They'll shit test me. They'll let me work game. Next thing you know, their man's out the door, right? And I'm not a fool. Like, even when I've dated these women, I try to avoid them now, obviously. But a lot of reason why these women are bad is just because they can't stay home, okay? They can't stay home. They just can't keep their legs closed. They're constantly going out there and looking for that BBD, bigger, better deal, a higher value male, a guy who will excite her more, a guy who will, you know, give her more adventure. You know, these women are generally very childlike in their minds too, even if they come across mature and they can have like professional jobs too. Right? I dated one girl who was an accountant and she was like, you know, an adult, but she had the mind of like a 6-year-old. She had like the maturity of a 6-year-old, you know, where she was just constantly looking for the, you know, she had what I call shiny object syndrome, right? It's like the new shiny object would come along, there she would go. As it is with most bad women, they have shiny object syndrome, right? It's hard for them to stay with just you and just be loyal to you. You know, that's why they have that saying, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. You can't. They think their sexual marketplace value is a lot higher than it actually is. And this goes especially for when you see these women in their 30s, 40s, 50s. They tend to think they're still as hot as the new crop of, you know, 18 to 21-year-olds. They tend to think that, oh, you know, I'm just as hot as she is. I could compete with her. They completely just, you know, delude themselves into believing that. Good women are always taken. Bad women, always single. They're forever single, and you can't change that. So stop trying to turn that hoe into a housewife. You can't do it, okay? You cannot do it. So I'm gonna wrap up here. Until next time, this is M. Do not forget to smash that like button below. Also, hit that notification bell right next to it so that you are notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video. More importantly, guys, make sure you subscribe to my channel. It's very important you subscribe. It helps me out a ton. Too many of you guys are still not yet subscribed to the channel, so please subscribe now. I really appreciate it. It's free, it doesn't cost anything, and whenever I upload a brand new coaching video to YouTube, you will be the first to be notified about it. So, you know, you won't be in the dark for weeks and weeks, and then one day you might, you know, find it on YouTube somewhere as a recommended. Instead, you'll get it fresh as I upload it, right? Because you want this red pill knowledge fresh. You want these red pill truth bombs fresh. So subscribe to the channel, okay? And for you guys who want to support my work and support my content and all of this red pill knowledge I'm teaching guys even further, the best way to do that is by jumping into my monthly online coaching program, 7 Months to Mastery, where I am teaching guys just like you how to go out there and approach and close the most beautiful looking women on the planet. I'm talking about 8s, 9s, and 10s, okay? And you're gonna be learning from somebody, which is me, who is one of the best pickup artists in the world, okay? And make no mistake about it, I could run circles around these top pickup guys easily. And I'm ranked right up there, by the way, okay? But a lot of these guys are based in LA, and that's originally why I moved to LA, was to compete against these guys. So if you want to learn from the best, jump into 7 Months to Mastery. Okay, I will teach you everything you need to know. Okay, the first month is only $1 for the entire first month of coaching lessons, and even in that first month alone, say you decide not to stay in the program, you can take what you've learned in that first month alone for just $1, and you will have the skill. You will have enough skill for whenever you see an attractive girl walk by you to stop her and do a proper approach, as well as close her, okay? Because in the first months alone, I cover all of the basics of pickup. I cover all of the basics for how to do a proper approach based on my 5-step formula that I've been using for the last 2.5 decades, which is approach, false time constraint, build attraction, build comfort and rapport, and then close. Okay, those are the 5 steps to a proper approach. Okay, and you have to do them in order. And this is why you've constantly failed throughout your lifetime to bring hot women into your life, because you might have worked up the nerve maybe once or twice to talk to a cute girl, but because you mixed up the steps, you failed, right? A lot of guys, for example, they tend to put comfort before attraction. So if they see a hot girl and they work up the nerve to go talk to her, approach her, they start talking to the girl, then immediately they start building comfort rapport, right? Before they've built any attraction, they start building comfort and rapport where they're like, so what kind of movies do you like? Where do you live? Where are you from? Oh, wow, I live there too. What's your favorite color? What kind of music do you like, right? They start building comfort with a girl. You have any brothers and sisters? This is generally what 99.9% of guys do when they lack game. They immediately jump into comfort building mode, right? Because they don't have those skills yet. And when you jump right into comfort mode with a girl, you know where that lands you? Especially with a hot girl. It lands you right in her friend zone with the rest of the beta orbiters who did the same exact thing. Whereas what I teach you to do in 7 months of mastery is I teach you to build attraction first. Because without attraction, you're just wasting your time building comfort rapport. Because all you're gonna do is place yourself in her friend zone. And a lot of you guys have, especially guys who've gone out with me, you've seen me do the claw on girls. You see me do things that are very bold. I might spin the girl, dip her, might do an instant makeout within like 30 seconds. And then you see me and the target getting touchy and feely right away. And you're like, whoa, what is going on? What do you think I'm doing? I'm creating attraction out of thin air. Okay, I'm not sitting there building comfort with her. That will come later. You gotta build attraction first. And obviously doing the claw and a lot of these very physical pickup artist techniques are a little more advanced, right? So this is all included in the very first month of 7 months of mastery, and right now it's only $1, so take advantage of it. And it's really easy to sign up. All you need to do is click that link below in my description box. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. Just takes 2 seconds, so do that now. And I will see you in my next coaching video. Until next time, gentlemen. Okay. Yeah, a lot of you guys, man, are like, hey, what's going on with your eyes? I'm like, they're red right now because I've been out partying. It's insane.